Hello everyone, welcome to this video that has been suggested to me as to do a guide and an overview on the usage of this mod, which I thought was a great idea, so there it is. So this mod is Probe Control Room IVA Plus, and what it does is it changes the base mod, which is Probe Control Room, changes its interior, which you can see here, to a low-tech, analog, NASA, retro-styled-ish flavor variant. So I will start first by giving a quick tour of the three desks and their panels, and then I will do a more in-depth look at the panels, the instruments, and everything. So this first seat is the flight director's desk. It will be the main seat used most of the time, since it has everything to control the main system of your spacecraft, to launch, to plot maneuvers, etc, etc. So here on the center panel we have two sections. Here on the right panel we have everything to do with attitude, orientation, and the main control of your spacecraft, speed, altimeter, etc. On the left panel we have a CRT for target management, the DSKY with orbital information, and everything related to engines and fuel. On the left panel we've got STS type timer, action groups, Mechjeb related things, and as well as a custom CRT display, which I will explain more later. Right panel we've got some flags, indicator flags, light management, and utility stuff, so radiator, antenna, voice comm, solar array, fuel cell, and here electricity management, and as well as life support if we happen to have a consumable on board. Lastly, we've got the maneuver planner, which allows us simply to plot maneuvers from inside the AVA, which is glorious. Next is the crash specialist desk. So this is used mainly for landing or crashing if you happen to do so, and also for re-entry. So the center panel is pretty similar to the flight director's one, except it has some slight variations. So here we can see we have instruments more related to landing, for instance impact speed and slope, and here it's a little bit different. We don't have the DSKY, but instead we have the X pointer, which is used for landing. Then left panel we've got a parachute, gear and brakes control, some coffee, and as well as the globus to show our vessel's position or landing prediction. On the right panel we have some indicator flags and alarms, thermal readings for re-entry, altitude warning system, and solars, antenna, radiator control. And last one, the Capcom desk, which here is actually used more for docking, mainly for docking, as well as target navigation related stuff. So in the main panel we've got nav ball control, custom CRT again, which can be used for docking, some flags related to docking, as well as some fuel indicators. Then left panel we've got again the X pointer, which can be used for docking, target related readouts, action groups, and lastly the right panel we've got again attitude control, flags, there's one missing here, I will fix that, STS timer again, DSKY, CRT, and this, which allows you to quick save and load. And finally we've got those ginormous CRT displays with buttons as big as a Kerbal, but I love it, it's very Kerbal. And again I will go in explain you later. Also don't forget this has FreeIVA support. This is built in the base mode, so you can just go around, I don't know, go to the toilets, walk around, press some buttons, or have a fresh cup of coffee. And just a quick look at the craft. We have this is just a basic probe with a bunch of stuff attached for testing. And look, volumetric clouds updated, and they are gorgeous. Yes. So we are now in orbit, and let's take a deeper look to start at the flight director desk. So in the center thingy we've got abort button to abort, stage to stage, stage lock to prevent accidental staging, RCS, SAS, precision control, this is for RCS to enable precision input, and kill rotation. Then on the right we've got the FDAI, so this is the nav ball, and its companion, the FDAI guide mode panel. I will not explain this because I did in-depth video guide. I will put a link somewhere, and you can go there and see how it works. We've got altitude readout, altimeter, which only works in atmosphere, Mach number, the same, vertical speed, actual speed, which can be surface, orbital, or relative to target. Then here we've got dynamic pressure, acceleration in G units, and here we can see the thrust limiter and its readout above. Compass, yeah, I know that's funny to have a compass in a mission control room, but I needed it. And here we've got attitude control to orient to different orientation, different vectors. Below we've got the ARRT, the tape meter basically. So relative to the ground, altitude rate and altitude, or relative to target in range mode. Then thrust to weight ratio tape meter. It can either show the max or current, because current, you can see if I turn on the engine, I thrust a little bit, and it goes up. And see if I can go full throttle, but I can also limit the thrust, and this will diminish. And you can see here, it confirms we have a limited thrust. Then the left side panel of the center panel, so we got the CRT display, this is for target selection. Here we've got the DSKY, ASET DSKY, this is a KSP version of the Apollo DSKY. Again, I did a full in-depth guide on its usage in a video tutorial, so I will put a link somewhere once again. Clear node to clear a plotted maneuver node. Clear target if we selected the target. Actually, I will explain this, no, later. Here, engine block. So we've got effective acceleration. So if I start to... you can see it. So this is in meters per second. Then engine turn on or off. This is to lock the gimbal of the engine. Then it's here it's all propellants. So we have engine throttle and thrust. Propellants, so liquid fuel oxidizer, and here it's only fuel, and it's divided in stage and total. Right now it's the same because we've got only one stage, and here the same monopropellant, liquid fuel oxidizer, SRB, solid fuel. Here alarms, so engine cutoff, low fuel, low monopropellant, low oxidizer, low xenon. That's not very low tech, I think I will remove it. High G, tumble and abort. Not very rated to engine, maybe I will replace them at some point, but anyway. Okay, let's take a look at the left panel. We've got action groups here. This is very useful because you can actually rename them. By default they are just A, G, 3, 4, etc. And with this particular syntax, so you have to respect it. It's AG capital number, equal sign, and space, and then whatever you want. So then we've got this event timer, which is STS inspired. So we got display, 3 buttons, and timer set. I can either choose to go up or down. So let's go up and start. It will start counting. I can stop it and restart it. Stop, and I can reset it to 0. Then I can, here in the timer set, choose a timer set start, so let's go with, I don't know, whatever, 23 minutes and 31 seconds. Here I can click set. It has to be in the down mode. You can only go down with this mode. So let's say we've got a maneuver, or we know we are gonna re-enter, whatever, you can do this, put it here, press start, and then you got this information here, which is quite useful. Then we've got the Mechjeb orbit computer. This have a key rotation. This is alternative mode for SAS. Auto ascent, auto land, auto rendezvous, execute maneuver if you have a maneuver plotted. Change apoapsis. So for instance, this uses this display and those inputs. Let's say I want to change my apoapsis to 500 kilometers. I will put input 500 here, thanks to those buttons, and click on change apoapsis. And if I look on the map view, I can indeed see that it plotted the maneuver with the changed apoapsis, which is very nice. Then we can also tell him to plot a Hohmann transfer if you have a target selected, circular rising burn, and change the periapsis. So then at the bottom, all those buttons are to get info only. The top is to execute, and back to get info, and this to input. So we can reset the display here. We can get the atmosphere altitude, the current inclination we are, so 29 degree, apoapsis, periapsis. If we have a target selected, you can get its apoapsis, periapsis, and inclination. Check. Okay. Then we've got this custom CRT display. I will take a look at it after because it's the same as here. Then right panel. So here it's mainly lights. So this is main light. This doesn't do anything, it's all button. This is the backlight. Everything turns on and off, which is pretty cool. This is the camera gain. Use oops, I messed up here. Camera gain, this is rated to those screens. I will show you later. Then we've got some flags. So solar array broken, solar array available, deployed, retracted, generator, fuel cell available, fuel cell on, alternator. If we are connected, this is if we are in precision control. As you can see, turns on. Ablation if we are in re-entry. MECO and main engine cutoff. So I can show you full thrust and engine cutoff, it shows MECO. Orbit, this is the SAS speed mode indicator. Here you can see it switches between orbit, surface and target if we happen to have a target selected. Low indicator, so low fuel, low oxidizer, low monopropellant and low electric charge. Here it shows you installed or not installed mods you have. Then we've got temperature, so radiator control. We can deploy it, deploy it. Temperature readings and yeah, flags. Then we've got ComNet. So again, we can deploy the antenna from here. So again, keep in mind this will deploy all the antenna, all the radiators, it will affect everything on the vessel. ComNet signal strength, if you are connected or not connected, and if you are on warp. So I'm pressing warp right now, and it goes on. Below that we've got chat error. This is only if you have Kerbals on board, so let's say if it's a space station. Doesn't do much, it's mostly for fun. Then solar array. I should have one here. Yeah, deploy. Okay, it's deploying and solar array deployed. And those are broken, I need to fix them. They don't work. Fuel cell. I have a fuel cell on board. You can see this turn on. And this turned on as well. So emergency power generator. So this is a emergency power supply. This is a bit cheaty actually. I think I'm gonna remove it. Then electricity control. So we got the charge rate here in units per second. Low charge warning. So you can see if I do that and reduce the electric charge, it will not be happy. You can see here the charge percentage. Here we can, this is pretty useful, we can see the output for, let's say, the solar array, we can isolate the output. And here finally we've got life support, so food, waste, oxygen, water, wastewater, and CO2. Okay, so let's take a look at the maneuver props. So this is still a work in progress. So it's pretty simple actually. Here you've got the input, here it's a buffer, and here it's a display. So let's say I want to plot a maneuver of 220 prograde and minus 30 normal. So 220 prograde, and I click Pro. And it will update here. And then I said minus, let's say minus 33 normal. So I hit the minus button here and press, actually before that you can reset the buffer here, so it's more convenient. So minus 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 and whatever, and then press normal, okay? And then the time in seconds, minutes and hours. It's missing the days button and year, but it will come soon. So just let's say 1 hour, whatever, okay, in 2 hours and 7 minutes. And when you are done, you click proceed. And as you can see, we now have a maneuver incoming. I will show you in the map view actually. And if we check here, we can indeed see it's the good value. So that's incredibly nice. This is work done by Mirage Dev forum user. Very, very nice. Then the crash specialist desk. So as I said before, this is mostly used for landing. So let's take a look at the central panel. And also as I said, this is mostly the same as the flight director. Here, the only change is actually the impact speed. Keep in mind this is pretty junky, buggy at this time, doesn't behave very well. Then we've got a slope indicator, which is very nice. And as you can see, I'm above the moon right now, and it keeps updating depending on the slope, which is currently below you. So that's a good thing to have when landing. Then we've got a radar altimeter up until 1500 meters. You also note that you have this little input here. and this is to set a low altitude alarm, which is right here, and if it goes below that, it will the alarm will turn on and do a sound. Then on the left panel of this center panel, we've got 2 CRTs. Here it's the X pointer, so this is used for landing, actually. I can show you here. Landing mode. Again, I did a full video tutorial on how to use this. I will link it somewhere once more. Delta V, stage, total, Mach number. Here we've got action groups. And this is the same engine block as on the flight director seat. Okay, so let's move to the left panel. So we've got parachute control. Shoot unsafe if the chute is unsafe to deploy, if you are too hot or too fast. Shoot safe. You can arm the chute, deploy, and cut. Gear status. So broken, etc. Brakes, we can set the brakes force here. This is for wheels, we don't have wheels on right now. Here we've got the globus, which is a very nice instrument. So it can show us our position on the cabin, on the globus. And if I time warp, you can see it's moving, and that also latitude and longitude are updated, which is pretty nice. It can show us where is our target. So let's say I select a target really quick. And I click target and it shows us where it is. So that's pretty nice once again. And the landing prediction. So right now it goes in error mode, but if we happen to be suborbital, it will try to show us the landing prediction on the map. And then you can basically switch between those modes, and this helps you to navigate better. Here above this is mission elapsed time, and at the bottom we've got altitude relative to sea level or to the terrain. This is mostly for jet engines, endurance. I will remove it, I think. It has no use here. On the right panel, so we got thermal block. So this is used for re-entry, ambient temperature, internal temperature, pod temperature, shield, so heat shield temperature, surface temperature, electric charge, CO2, ablative, so this shows us the quantity of ablative material we have. This is atmosphere depth percentage. So right now it's showing 0 because we are in space. This is all alarms. So contact on the ground, SAS, RCS on, ascent if we are going up, low thrust to weight ratio. If I turn the engine just a tiny glimpse a bit, you can show it just warned you we have a low thrust weight ratio. Descent if you are going down, low on liquid fuel, low altitude, high G if it goes like above 4 or 5 G, I think. Low monopropellant, tumble if you are tumbling, air braking if you have air braking, low electric charge, high slope, cabin overheat, engine overheat, landing gear. So that will go on if we didn't deploy the landing gear at a low altitude. I mean, if you have landing legs but they are not deployed, and ground proximity. So this is this relates to those things. And let's take a look. So we've got altitude warning. So this is the same as this little one. But the nice thing is that you have both together, so you can have multiple altitude warnings. So let's say you put this one to 1000 and this one to 200 or whatever. Ground proximity warning system, so this is this alarm, and altitude voice annunciation system. So this doesn't work right now. So it's a Kerbal that speaks and says 10, 20, etc. Here we've got solar array control, antenna, radiator, same as we saw before, and this is to call the recovery team. So you need to be landed, of course, and you can recover your vessel with that. And next, desk. This is hard to say. So as I said before, this is Capcom, this is used for docking. Oh my god, I need to talk so much. This is hard for us French guys. For this, as we are going to be talking about target and docking, I did put us near another craft for the example. So on the center panel of the Capcom desk, we've got this CRT monitor again. As a lot of the stuff on the CRT is related to docking, I will take this occasion to introduce it. We've got this giant knob here to switch between screens. These are all mostly the same, by the way. Here, Scansat map. So obviously you need to have the Scansat mode and to have scanned the planet, which we did. First, why is this violet like that? So because this is in resource mode, so you can press is it the back? Yeah, the back button, and it will switch between resource display and the normal display. Then with the up and down button, you can zoom in your current position up to 10 kilometers. Then we've got the home button. This will switch between color and grayscale. And finally the enter button, which will switch between the different maps available. So this is altimetry, this is slope map, and this is biome map. And finally we got the next button to toggle the waypoints or the current orbit trajectory, which is not displaying right now. I think that's a bug, or I didn't set it up correctly, but basically it can do that. Next, this is the target menu. So this is the same as this one, this little CRT. By the way, this one has this menu and also camera mode. So this is target menu. We can target celestials, so I can target the moon for instance, and then press home, and I can clear my current target, Then filters, this is to specify, excuse me, is to specify what vessels type should be displayed here in the vessels tab. Imagine if you got like, I don't know, 100 vessels, this can be quite useful actually. So then when you're in the vessels or celestial tab, you can actually press escape and it will sort them between alphabetical order or distance. Okay, next space object is for asteroids. Reference part, this is to specify if which reference part are you controlling your vessel from. So either the probe core or the various docking ports you have installed. You can also rename the docking ports. Rename port. Let's take Yep, and you can see it updated. So you can name your docking port. Let's say you have a big space station or whatever. This is much useful because otherwise you would just have Probo Bodin Junior docking port and you will have 10 of them. And the next screen is docking port camera. So for this to work, you need to select a docking port as a reference part in the target management menu. So you need to go to reference part, enter, and then select the docking port as a reference, and ta-da! So it's now updated and it comes in a cool green scale rendering. It says no target because we don't have target selected yet. So let's go back here and select a target. This one, yeah, distance. You can see the distance here. So 4 meters. This is definitely this one. And I pressed enter again, and this for this I can select the docking port as a target. Okay, and if we look here, magic. So we've got everything we need to dock. We've got approach speed, the distance, the relative velocity, relative inclination, and the relative velocity in the x and y axis, and relative distance in the x and y axis, and as well as the angle. So basically everything the DPAI mod gives you, but actually much more precise. You can also, with the up and down buttons, zoom in, which is really cool. You can also, with the camera gain here, you can select the camera gain. So this can be useful, for instance, if you're doing a docking in the dark side of a planet. The sun is setting down, so it's a good occasion. Let's take a look. Let's time warp a little bit. Okay, we are in the dark, and as you can see, we can't see shit basically. But if I turn this on, we can see much better. I mean, a little bit, okay? Okay, so this is Astrogrator screen. This is useful to know in which time you can do a Hohmann transfer to a target. So it shows us the moon, for instance. We can go to the moon in 12 seconds if we want. It tells us delta V. It's also buggy for now. You can navigate, but it will time warp. Yeah, it's a bit junky at the time, but basically you could navigate and press enter, and if I go to the map view, you can see it created a node for the target Eve. Keep in mind also, this is not precise at all. As you can see, it's not the Hohmann transfer it plotted is not even intercepting Eve. You would need a correction maneuver burn, but it's pretty cool to have, and I use it mostly to have the time to the next Hohmann transfer I can do. Then it's the orbit screen. So this is a map view, if you want, with mostly the same information as you have in stock KSP. So we've got our velocity, the 2.3 kilometers per second, our altitude, apoapsis, periapsis, inclination, eccentricity, time to apoapsis, time to periapsis. If there is a square around it, it means it's the next one coming. OP, oh, actually I don't know what it does. I will have to check. And time to ascending and descending node. On the map view, you can also see these markers are the periapsis and apoapsis, and this is ascending and descending node, and you can tell because they are not oriented the same way. This is vertical and this is horizontal. This is this is a closest approach indicator, like in stock. Also notice that maybe if you select the moon as a target, so I did select the moon as our target, and now the screen updated and it shows the moon. And it will show the SOI changes, and yeah, very cool. And last, we've got the camera display. This is used to show the external camera you have on. So this is external parts here, as you can see. It's ASET camera, but you've got the basic RPM camera as well. And I've got two of them, one here and one... Yeah, I lost it, and one here. Don't forget, in the VAB you need to have a different cam ID for each cameras. And if we go back here, we can indeed see, if I press the next button, it will switch between the different cameras, which is pretty cool. And again, you can zoom in and zoom out. Then just a little note on this screen. This one is the same, it just has, yeah, resources the same as this. But in numbers and in percentage also, which is nice. Total mass and available data levy. So in the future I would like to improve those screens and maybe add more custom pages. Maybe KOS, Kerbal Operating System Mode implementation. That would be very nice. So let's get back to the docking section panel after all this. So the CRT is the same as this one. We've got a propellant indicator, some flags. Here, flags related to docking, so either if you are in precision control or not. Docking port is reference. I can show you here. Yeah, I will switch the reference part. Okay. And then it's happy again. The target DP means your target is a docking port. Approach depart, this is depart, means either if we are closing from the target or going away. Then we've got angle and speed. This is either if your angle or speed are too high for docking. So I can show you, you need to be approaching for that to work. Yeah, so as you can see, obviously I'm in the wrong angle for docking. Chuk chuk. And so this guy isn't happy at all. Then on the left we've got the ARRT, altitude range rate instrument. But basically analog version of this, much less precise. Here it's up to 3 decimals, so much better. And here if you are docked, and ready for docking is if you are well aligned, low speed and close from your targeted docking port. Okay, then on the left here we've got the phase ejection angle indicator, which is controlled by this little switch. This is very useful, for instance, let's say I select the moon as our target, set it to phase, and here you can see it's it's two actually. So when the 2 needles, which is 0, it means basically it's time to do a Hohmann transfer. So basically right now we could go to the moon, and it will put us on an intercept. Here we've got a UT timer, and we've got also UT clock, I mean, and timer, as you can see, in seconds and in minutes. I can stop it. Okay, this is also bugged. I need to save and reload, but I'm too lazy. You can stop it and reset it to 0. Here, signal strength. This is also useful. Let me select back my target. It's a graphical representation if you are either ahead or behind your target in its orbit. So pretty useful for navigation. Also here, the speeding indicator, so good occasion to show the last mode, relative mode. So surface relative to the surface of Kerbin right now, orbital, and relative to the target. So once again, this is analog and not very precise, but it can be good when doing a braking burn, for instance, at your closest approach. Here, once more, we've got the X pointer with its mode selection, which is used for docking. It shows us the docking distance in the X and Y axis and the docking velocity. I did a full tutorial on this and for docking with this particular instrument, which is very, very nice, by the way. And I will put a link once more somewhere on the screens. Action groups, and finally the last panel. So we've got SIS attitude control, some flags. So most of them are redundant. precision control, you can see tuck, tuck, same as this, docking port reference, same as this, target, the target is a docking port, same as this. This is missing, I need to add one, and this is a SIS speed mode, either surface or target, so this is just a confirmation of this. And by the way, this is what you do when you click here in stock KSP. Okay, then a CRT, event timer, stage, undock, abort, DSKY, and lastly the RPM unit to quick save. You can say quick saving. I can quick load and revert to launch. Okay, I'm done talking today. Anyway, I hope this was useful to you in using this this mod. And don't forget, I will put a link in the description so you can download the first test version release. So keep in mind this is mostly done, but there is still some features that are missing or buggy. Could happen. Yeah, don't forget you can also grab a cup of coffee, have a bit of this bud plant, go to the toilet, go to the kitchen, or if there is a fire, quickly grab the fire extinguisher and even turn off gravity and or maybe if the crash specialist botched the landing, you can throw it at his face. Okay, so thank you everyone for watching. Of course, if you have any questions or comments about this, feel free to leave them. And once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.